Hello and welcome to the show. I am here on Forza 6 with another Autocross car build. A new DLC pack means some more vehicles to play around with. And the first one to be turned into an Autocross car is the Jaguar XJ-S. Not sure that this is the perfect choice of vehicle for Autocross. However, we have seen, the likes of the V8 Vantage went quite quickly around here. So this might not be too bad. We will come back to engines. I'm not quite sure what we're going to do with engines as of yet. Let's first of all get some tyres. Now it starts off in D-Class. Ooh, they are some nice big front tyres on here. 275s. They are actually pretty ginormous compared to a lot of vehicles. Okay, unfortunately we've only got 275s on the rear as well. We might be a little bit oversteery with the balance of the car. We will have to wait and see. I'm quite surprised actually to see such all-round tyres, but there we go. Yes, we're going to be wanting, of course, the race tyres. We've got plenty of PI to work with. We're going to want the front and the rear downforce. I'm slightly disappointed at no crazy rear wing, but didn't really expect anything less. We can remove the plastic bit. May be useful if we need to find one PI somewhere. Right, let's go through with the rest of the handling parts, of course. Race brakes, we're going to want the race suspension. I'm hoping the weight reduction can get the Jaguar down. I don't think we're going to get it particularly light, though. It is going to be on the heavier side. I think we will also eventually get the anti-roll bars on. We will probably have a lot of power in this car. Like the Camaro was quite heavy. It wasn't actually ridiculously powerful because it did start off quite a high PI. I am going for the roll cage. I know it adds weight, but that extra chassis rigidity I think will come in handy when it comes to Autocross. Please save some weight. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. It's a decent amount. £3,300 is not too shabby. It's lighter than the Camaro that we saw go around here. Okay, engines. Now, can I save some weight with an engine swap? What are our options? 5.7 litre V8, the 5.2 litre V10, or the 6 litre V12. Okay, so our options. We can stick with the standard engine. We can go for the V8. It is fractionally lighter. We can go for the V10, and that will max out our PI. Oh, that is a tempting choice. 562 horsepower, 400 foot-pounds of torque. It is a little lighter. I think I might stick with the standard engine, to be honest. I think we're going to keep the standard engine. What do we do in the way of aspiration swaps? We could go for twin turbos. We could go for a supercharger. We'll come back to them if we need the PI. I don't think I want the added weight particularly. The exhaust, fantastic, has saved £100. So this engine is now as light as the V10, pretty much, by doing that. So yeah, I think this might be the right choice. I'm not sure we're quite going to get as much power. We're going to get a lot more torque though out of this standard engine. 411 horsepower in the Jag. The PI is actually going up pretty rapidly, keeping this engine in here up to 400 foot-pounds of torque as well. If this car isn't too oversteery, that is my big fear with the Jag. If it isn't too oversteery, it may also be worth, before I go jumping with all of those parts, having a look. Right, okay, so it does already come with a upgraded gearbox. Are we going to want to change this? No, I don't think we're probably not going to want to faff about with that too much. And if this car does have longer gear ratios from standard, I'm not actually that bothered. If it has them, I think we can kind of work with that. It kind of reduces that little bit of wheel spin. Can be quite nice to have that helping the car out a little bit. Up to 489 horsepower, 450 foot-pounds of torque. Unfortunately, we have run out of engine parts. So we're now going to go through, probably do driveline and flywheel, I suspect, is what we're going to get here. Driveline, flywheel, and then maybe the bumper removal. In fact, flywheel will do it up to A700. We are under £3,200, which is nice. I can't complain of that too much. And we will have a quick look, see if we can take the bumper off. And we can! Fantastic. That's another, there's another few pounds saved, £4 saved in the Jaguar. Okay. Power figure is not quite as high as going for the V10, however it is a lot torquier engine here, and the car is lighter. So I'm fairly happy with that way that it has worked out. Decent sized front tyres, we should have a lot of front end grip. Concerns about the rear end not quite having the same, could be a little bit oversteery, and it is a bit of a heavier car. However, I suspect we might have some mighty acceleration from the Jaguar. Of course, to test out the XJ-S, we have come to the Hockenheim circuit, where it will get 3 runs through the autocross course in an attempt to go as fast as possible. Our current leader is the Renault 5 Turbo, with a lap time of 2:05.2, which is a mighty impressive benchmark, and one I think is a little bit out of this Jaguar's league. As far as kind of expectations, well, perhaps around where the Camaro, this and the Camaro might possibly share some character. I don't really know. Perhaps the Aston Martin V8 Vantage is the best sort of a benchmark. You know, the Camaro was relatively large and relatively heavy, but a lot more modern. This and the Vantage, similar kind of weights. So perhaps we will see it around there. Maybe it'll surprise us. Who knows? Absolutely no idea quite what we're going to get from the Jaguar. Oh, okay. We're going to get quite a bit of wallowing. Okay, quite a bit of wallowing from that. That's, yeah. That's a way to take the first gate, not a particularly good way to take the first gate. The acceleration is immense in this car, as I kind of quite expected it to be. The handling is a little bit all over the place. Oh, God. Okay, yeah, I like the XJ-S. Not quite sure it's going to be the ideal car for autocrossing. Really not quite sure. It's, yeah, okay, aside from the fact that I'm now slightly thrown by having the steering wheel on the right-hand side of the car, and now my positioning is all out, it's, yeah, this thing moves about a lot. Remember, this has got race suspension in the car. This kind of is a bit of a scary one to drive. Please behave yourself, Jaguar. The gear ratios are nice and long, and I think that is perhaps helping with some of the crazy potential levels of wheel spin. I mean, you have also got to bear in mind like the silly car builds that I'm used to driving in many respects. This has got far less power than them. It's not quite as crazy as some of the cars, you know, we've got full race tyres on the vehicle. Speed is impressive, although we don't actually get out of second gear around this course. That is how long the gear ratios are, and I was all wonky coming into the tunnel section through there, so that's probably not helping matters that much. Yeah, the actual straight line speed, that's 116 miles an hour at a place where you don't normally quite get up to 116 miles an hour. Yeah, we've got the speed, we've got the acceleration, it's, oh god, the handling. The handling, it's a boat. It really is a ginormous, wallowy boat, the Jaguar. I don't really like to have to say that, but it is the truth here. Oh, come on now, try and get the car through these final gates. We can have some good traction as we head towards the line. That was an awful first run. I don't know how many gates I clipped. Yeah, need some improvements in this next run. So, on to the second run with the Jag. I think my targets of the V8 Vantage might be a little far-fetched. That might be asking quite a lot of this car. I don't think I've had a vehicle wallow as much. Even the vans, you know, the really crazy, stupid vehicles that have gone here, and they've gone up onto 2 wheels. They don't wallow in the same way that this thing is doing, which is yeah, quite beautiful. It's got quite a lazy V12. This one doesn't rev particularly high. Oh dear God, the handling! It's only 90 miles an hour through there, and it's terrifying. That is just, oh God, careful through these gates. Don't smack into anything. Be terrified of everything. I think is the best. I am kind of glad that it's wallowy, because if I had any confidence to try and push this vehicle around the course, it would be even worse, because the back end does its own thing and it dances around and you slide a lot, and yeah. This is an experience, to say the least. I'm going nice and early on the brakes down there. It can't get up to... I have no doubt that this is capable of accelerating at the same rates as some of the really fast cars here, because of the speeds it'll get to at other corners. The problem is it just doesn't have the control through the gates to really, to really trouble the fastest cars around here. This is quite impressive, actually, from the Jaguar. Right, around this next turn, try and get on the power. You know, actually not too bad with wheel spin there and down here. When it gets going, it is good. The brakes are actually not too bad either. All things considered, the brakes are really not too bad. I think those giant front tyres perhaps helping a bit here as we come down towards the hairpin. Somehow I haven't hit a gate on this run. Not 100% sure how I've managed that, but there we go. Don't speak too soon. I spoke too soon. Well, okay, never mind. The front end was through. The front end was through the gate when I hit it, so it didn't count as a time penalty. Oh god, this is not a good car for autocross. It's just too bouncy, and yeah, it really struggles with these turns. I am impressed by the brakes though. Getting all of this Jag slowed down for these corners does very, very well. Dear god, this is not a good car. 214 from the Jag. Okay, well, I got one more run. Can we get it any faster without scaring myself to death? So, on to the final run with the Jaguar. I am hoping maybe some time can be found. It's going to be a wallowy experience with this car. If I'm going to try and find any time, I think the trick is perhaps going to be try and be neat and tidy. Try and be neat and tidy with this car, because we're simply not going to carry the speed through these gates that the sports cars have. So we're going to have to focus on trying to get good acceleration out of the turns, get some nice exits, make the most of what acceleration there is here, and yeah, try and not slide the car any more than we try not to slide the car, full stop. We don't want it sliding. That's wasting time, precious time that could be used for going forward. So that is what I'm going to try and do. Slow into the gates, hopefully relatively fast out of them, if we can manage. And I think so far it's working well. Try not to overdrive the car. God, that back end does not stick on the road. It was a little bit better straight line speed wise down there, about 115. The problem is I simply can't keep it on the road through that fast section to make the most of the speed that there is available in the Jag. Again, down here, we get a little wiggle on. I'll probably leave it in first for most of this course. The gear ratios are super long, and I am actually quite glad of that. I will be honest, the fact that they are so long is helping me no end with controlling this wheel spin. It means I can get on the throttle quite nice and early out of these gates, and it's still more than enough for the acceleration. No, we're not losing out on acceleration. We're still getting up to some seriously high speeds in this car. It's the lack of any corner grip that is the problem here as we head into the hairpin. Just be patient. In fact, actually the understeer through there helped us out a little bit. Oh, get it through that section. God, now we have got this wiggling towards the finish line. Oh, we've got some more oversteer. No, behave yourself, Jaguar. Please behave yourself through these final few gates. This is where the Renault 5 was so very, very fast. The Jaguar, not so much. The Jaguar, not so much at all through there. A run towards the line. It's not, well, it's not amazing, I'll be honest. Oh, God, what a car this one is. I wasn't quite expecting that. I've had many classic vehicles. In fact, the top of the table is largely dominated by classic vehicles. We've had the Jeep Grand Wagoneer, you know, the big SUV, went 12th fastest around here. If anything was going to wallow about, you'd expect something like that. Even the vans and the Bowler, nothing quite wallows the same way as this Jaguar. It's incredible. It really is. It's a bit of a shame. I think if it had some decent handling, it'd probably be quite a quick car. That acceleration is very, very good, and with the super long gear ratios, the traction actually isn't that bad in the car. The rear end is very lively. The front end is okay, but it's kind of all a little bit redundant because it bounces and wibbles and is just, yeah, not very good. Through the turns, its lap time is quite a way down the order. It's been a while since we've had a car down this end of the table. It goes into 40th place. It is slightly slower than a Honda Civic Type R. The front-wheel drive cars have had no end of struggles around here. Too much power through the front wheels, really in A-class. But the Civic Type R is quicker than the Jaguar. The Jag does beat the classic Mercedes Grand Prix car. It beats the Rolls-Royce Wraith. But, yeah, it's too bouncy through these turns. Well, there we go. That was the Jaguar. Slightly sad to say that about it, because I think it's a fantastic looking car. I do quite like the XJ-S, but it is not good. Not good at all when it comes to autocross. However, that is it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.